Welcome back to Four Geeks by Geeks, where geeks come to geek out. Unfortunately, we have Alex with us being Alex, so there's that. We are on episode 2 of City of Mist, and this is where we are really going to get a kickstart into the play in the field of what City of Mist entails. We had a little bit of rolling last session. We had a bit of the rules kind of come into play, but we are really getting into the nitty-gritty of this first case that are I'm not sure if we're calling them superheroes yet, but our I don't even know if I can call them protagonists of our story. Our player characters of the story. They are about to start really diving into Pandora and what all it entails. So it's about to get real interesting. This web of information that I've got built is probably about to fucking go off a cliff and me trying to keep track of everything. But let's get into some fun facts. So Alex, give us our first fun fact about Colin Blackfoot.
Yeah, so Colin is pretty fresh out of prison. That's kind of been established. But the reason that he's working at Blockbuster is actually that it's the job that he had in high school. And he was able to get out of prison, speak to the manager there, and they
who's still been there the whole time.
Yeah, it's this really tired old woman, and she was very kind, and she said, "Yeah, come on back." So
I need to know, what is this tired old woman's name?
I don't know off the top of my head. Let me think about it. I'll have a name for you soon.
That's okay. We have a mythos and logos generator brought to us by Cantina 13 that can just provide me a name real quick, and that name is going to be Claire Vosberg.
I like that. I like Claire, yeah.
This is proof that Pandora is cut off from the rest of the world, the fact that Blockbuster still exists. Is Netflix a thing?
Yeah, we established that, right?
Oh, we did.
Colin's little to-do list.
Is it still in the mailing DVDs to your house phase of Netflix or the streaming?
Ooh,
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, I forgot that's the OG purpose.
For all you kids out there, we used to have a queue that we'd pick which movies we want sent to our house. And we'd watch it, mail it back, and you get the next one.
Yeah, all right, Grandpa. Let's get you your pills.
No, it's real. It's real. The moon landing never happened.
Okay, I've gone too far. Let's definitely get you your pills.
And then we've got Boser playing Cornelius Avordalius III.
Cornelius Avordalius III. Fun fact about Cornelius is he knows that he's a third because of a name badge that was found on him during a pivotal, scary event from a few years ago. But other than that, he doesn't quite remember much from before 5 or 6 years ago.
Wouldn't it be kind of messed up if his last name was just E, like 3 I's in a row, and he didn't know?
My pappy was a dolphin, and his pappy was a dolphin before him.
I'm not going to lie, I had that thought process. I was like, I could do some rude shit with this.
Amazing. Fantastic.
Following him, we've got Jeff Sitz playing, I'm going to just call him the broker because I don't know if last session their name was actually revealed.
I think it was. I think his first name at least.
Yeah.
I think so.
Not with us, personally.
Not with the player characters, but I've said Andresj quite a few times.
Perfect. I couldn't remember, and I liked the ambiance still around the mysticism, pun intended, of the broker, so...
Fun fact about Andresj, they specifically have a fund set aside to buy meals for one of the local orphanages.
Aww.
Listen here.
I didn't realize that we were trying to. I didn't realize we were trying to establish. Colin volunteers at a soup kitchen, and
volunteers, core ordered, tomato, Barney Stinson.
Because he's broke. Yeah.
Cornelius volunteers at a brothel.
He volunteers all of the money he earns to those in need.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, sex workers are workers. You know.
Thank
Big
you for
facts.
thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Someone's
got
got to do it.
And we are now 6 months into the concept of this campaign. We are on technically episode 3. We've gone through session 0, session 1, now recording session 2. And this motherfucker still has not solidified his character or his character sheet. We have Lucas playing Detective Spencer Cooper.
Am I playing Detective Spencer Cooper?
I'm not convinced at this point.
I was playing a D&D character named Bosch, and then that worked out for a whole,
For a whole 2 episodes.
maybe three.
So yeah, there you go. There's a fun fact.
We still don't know exactly what the hell we're doing.
No, Cooper probably. Let's see. His little fun fact is
He's not exactly playing nice with others in the organization, we'll say, because he's got a pretty good mouth on him.
Wonder where he got that from.
yeah, no, totally not from the guy who made him, and
In doing so, let us start this game, right? So, as I start pulling files out, and I go across the names, I got Dell, the genie, Colin, and just a sticky note with the broker on it. I start putting them on my board. Dell, I'm gonna fucking deal with this guy again. Hopefully, no one gets blown up. Again. Colin, I don't know why he brought Colin into this. I don't need anyone to die any more than they're already dead. And then obviously, whoever you are, as I'm staring at this sticky note that just says the broker on it, I just wish I knew anything to do with you, because that information would make life so much easier for all of us. But I can't pay that price. And then I'm gonna just turn over. I'm going to look at my other board that's just full of strings from the genie, from the map of the city and the park to the sky rises to all these other things. I'm like, what in the hell are we gonna do about this? And fade to black.
More fucking art that I gotta come up with, which is not a bad thing, because I like the idea of the web that I am creating needing to be like solidified into these case absolutions. So that's gonna be fun. So thank you for that. So we left off the previous session where our players' characters mostly met for the first time. There's been some previous interaction amongst the 4 of them. But this is the first time they have learned they are now co-workers, for lack of a better term. They were instructed by Pierce Snyder that this is an audition for a job. They are auditioning for some level of quid pro quo that individually has been established with everybody, but the interactions were going to be fresh and raw, as we are going to start this session the next day. But before we get into that, I would like to just do a little brief one-on-one with everybody, because I want to know the emotions they're all feeling with, one, being told one thing by Pierce Snyder and then being told something immediately different the moment they all get together. So Colin, you are leaving the factory. What's going through his mind as he's walking out those bay doors?
So, for our viewers' sake, because of course I know, what was the contradiction that was presented to us?
So basically Snyder told you, like, hey, you guys are gonna just work for me. I need help taking the genie down. But when he presented it to all of you, you guys just had the job. You got to the factory and he was like, no, this is more like an audition, so I can like see if you're worth the salt.
my second follow-up question is, are we moving to start investigating right now?
Not yet. We're gonna follow that up the next day.
Okay. I think Colin is a little relieved. I think he was expecting to have to like break into this factory, and there was a part of him that was really anxious that they would all immediately start having to do crime for this DA that he doesn't like. Do crime. Which is, obviously tattooed on his lower back. He's
How far down are we talking?
Canon.
Tramp stamp level?
Always.
Well,
It's
only,
not tramp stamp level.
only
it's,
if you
it's
get the
really,
first phrase of that too. You gotta get
Yeah,
the
it was.
first part of the
It's
phrase.
prison ink. He got it done when he was young.
I would honestly
With a paper clip.
He said, I had to survive. I had to survive somehow.
The
in the
imagery
back."
that came to mind for me was actually like really shitty angel wings on the shoulder blades. And just
do
inside
crime.
each one is do and crime.
No, I don't think it was that intricate. I think Colin just had one of his buddies.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not thinking it's intricate. I'm thinking like one of his buddies put his hand on his back and just traced it.
Oh yeah. I actually like that. I think his buddy Lance did that when they were in prison after like a few years of knowing each other. So
That's pretty great.
This is now added to your character portfolio, so there is no taking that back.
that's cool with me.
It's going in the fire.
Yeah, I think he's a little anxious, and I think he's kind of sighing deeply as soon as he's out of earshot with anybody, and kind of like fingering the strap running across his chest with one hand, and just kind of shoving a hand into his pocket for his house keys, so he can start like not house but apartment keys.
Fair enough. All right, Dell, you were walking out of the factory. You came in. Did you come in on a motorcycle, or did you?
I came in on a motorcycle.
All right. How's Dell feeling? This is the first time he's had interaction with Pierce Snyder, correct? Outside of their meeting at Dell's, but before that,
Right.
he's got no experience with Snyder.
Right, and right now, Dale is, well, Pierce is not one of his favorite people because he threatened that if I don't help, and then he's coming after my foundry, and I don't like that. It's my family right there. But I also kind of want to figure out what's going on, and any new case that I'm on kind of moves me closer to answers and where these new powers came from, and maybe if I figure that out, then maybe I can figure out who I am. So I've got some multiple motives, but so I throw my leg over my motorcycle, and I'm only like 2 blocks away, Dale's. But I didn't want people to know that, so I came in on the motorcycle, and I drive around the blocks a few times, just kind of thinking about this switcheroo and what's causing these murders, and realizing we only got 3 days and ways to stop it. And it was pretty good to see Detective Cooper again. He's got a nice smile when he chooses to use it, that is. Man, he's an asshole.
Behind the scenes, Lucas has set up a very distinct relationship that he has with Boser's character. And Boser, a conversation we had 15 minutes ago, is now changing it in narrative. I am ecstatic to see it.
Well, no, it's just
This-
different perspectives of the charters,
There's
Like Del
layers.
sees it one way and Cooper
That's
sees
what
it
I'm
another.
saying.
Like
I
an onion,
can't
there's
wait
layers.
to see how this unravels. I can't wait for more interactions between the two of them.
I really want Lucas's emotions in the moment to be like, fucking Del. God damn it, I hate seeing this.
So it's very much gonna be like a real life relationship that we may or may not have with a certain person.
Anyways, Jeff, since we established that the broker was on a building just outside the factory observing from there, correct?
Yeah, like a block away or something, with their drone actually being the one to go to the meeting. And so we see the drone like exit through one of the factory windows, like one of the ones way up high, close to the ceiling or whatever. You know the ones I'm talking about, like the
Oh, yeah.
massive, like building long windows that are always at the top of the factory wall, but finds a broken one or an open one, leaves that way, and kind of weaves through alleyways to get back up to the rooftop where Andresj is sitting and like guiding it back to them. And from there, I mean, it's gonna be trying to get down from the rooftop and get back to the apartment to their apartment without anybody really seeing them, because it's right now I'm outside of the neon pillars, and
which is unusual for the broker.
yeah, and it's not very. I'm not comfortable.
Okay.
So it's very.
I'm exposed.
Out of curiosity, is this when the broker would wear the mask? Or would that be
No.
too obvious?
That's one of those things where like because the broker is somewhat known, trying to throw the mask on while just walking through the street.
Okay.
Would you say that
Andresj's face is. What's that?
Would you say that nobody cares who you are until you put on the mask? Anybody a big fan of Batman? I'm sorry.
Who's that?
Oh, I don't know.
No, okay.
Man Bat. You mean Man Bat?
Man Bat. Yeah, the way cooler
Yeah.
version. Yeah.
A way cooler version. But this is in this situation, Andresj's face is a better mask, because if I put on a neon mask, I'm going to stand out, but just walking
Right.
around with my hood up, I'm not.
Mr. Robot walking through the city.
Right. I will say Andresj probably has a relatively hard time getting down from the rooftop, like getting up there. I'm just gonna, just because I want to fuck with Andresj a little bit, like,
Okay.
I'll get up there and find out, like, oh, right, I'm up on a roof. The door I came through locks automatically behind me.
So we're going to say this is a face the danger.
Okay. So yeah, I'm trying to climb down like the fire escape at this point, because like there's not really any other way out.
Okay. All right, so go ahead. Are you using any abilities to assist you here?
First roll of the session.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know if it would actually give me any bonus, because I don't have anything that would really help me here. But just for flavor, and if you'll let me use it as a +1, I'll use the Raven drone that I was flying around to like.
Yeah, I would say you would use that kind of like map a course down.
Oh no! Like again, it's just a fire escape, and so Andresj is just like, okay, this is like a 20-foot drop.
So you want to jump on?
And just trying to like hang down from the fire escape and like balance on the drone, so it just kind of softens my landing. And
Yep. I
don't
will
think it's gonna work
absolutely
at
allow.
all.
I'll give you the +1 for it, but
Okay. It's 2d6, right?
2d6.
That is 2, so 6 total.
So I'm gonna just kind of read over the rules, just so one, we can all get ingrained with them. This is a new system. I want our audience to kind of understand what's going on.
What?
So face the danger. When you use your abilities to avoid an incoming hit, endure harm, resist a malign influence, or hold it together, MC or player will name a status in its tag and tier. So you're going to roll plus power, which he just did. On a 10+, you fend off the effect and you take no status at all. He didn't do that. That's a success. On a 7 to 9, which is considered a mixed success, you take a status, both a -1 tier. On a miss, you take a full status. So this is just going to be a tier 1 status. So this is just going to be, this is more for just giggles than anything else. So what happens here is kind of as you try and attempt to use the Raven drone to help your descent down this 20-foot drop, you come down on your ankle sideways because it's a little too quick and you can't control it. So you now have a mild 1 injury. We're just going to call it an ouch, but you have a sprained ankle.
It's a
And so now our scene of the broker walking through the city to like blend into the crowd is now quietly askewed, because now you can pick him out because he's the guy limping through the crowd.
Yep. I mean, I don't have much to add to this. Just limp back to the apartment, just.
And then just as a reminder to you guys, how statuses work is that the statuses are only affecting, outside of like long-term things like a broken arm, are only affected in scene, because we're starting the next day. He is not going to carry that -1 penalty. It's scene-based statuses outside of longevity-based relations. So, and Lucas, I know you did your opinion on everybody here, but we're gonna set the scene of you've just watched Snyder walk out. You just watched your new co-workers walk out, and you are now standing in the dim light of the broken skylight above you, and you're standing in this empty factory. How is Cooper feeling at this moment?
This motherfucker did it again. Why does he always sit there, tell me I'm gonna do one thing, and then he's gotta switch it last minute? He's not too happy with Pierce right now. Not too happy at all. I'm like, why are you gonna tell me one thing, and now you're having me do this? And with people that you know, I don't necessarily like enjoy. Like, come on. So,
And we will fade out on that annoyance just plastered over Detective Cooper's face.
looking down at my newspaper, quote unquote.
So for sake of simplicity, we will say starting the next day is your 3-day timer. You have 72 hours before this incident strikes again. And we're going to call it an incident because you guys don't really know what's going on here. You just know that Cooper and one of the other detectives at Pandora's police department can't get a crack on this case at all. There are currently, did we establish 2 or 3 bodies?
Three.
There are currently
Maxim,
3
Tony.
bodies.
Yeah.
Did I give you guys names for those?
Samit,
Yeah.
Maxim, Tony, Aylin, Hemming, Torsten.
Thank you.
Torsten is a screenwriter. Tony Aylin she was a tech lead, and then Samit Maxime was in pharma.
Correct.
And they
God,
drove,
I love
in the order that
Bakers.
Jeff Suits gave, they drove a Cadillac, an SUV, and a Tesla.
We got 2 note takers.
You guys are great detectives.
I think Alex is a better
Alright.
detective than Colin. Colin remembered the car because he's like, what the fuck is a Tesla?
And we are going to to give us a starting point. I will not be doing much railroading, for lack of a better term here. I'm going to just say you guys agreed to meet at Edith Park the next morning because that is where the crimes were taking place. We'll say you guys agreed to meet there, let's say 10 a.m. And I will now open the floor to you guys bringing us into, one, how do you get to Edith Park? What is the setup you do? And then we can just kind of start the scene from there. It is a dark and dreary day. There's a chill in the air. There's a bitter nip, which is a little strange because it's summer. It shouldn't be this cold. You're not freezing, but your nipples are definitely hard as you're trying to make your way through the city because this cool breeze is just...
Dale's nipples are always.
I was about to fucking
what
say
a
Dell
detail.
has no differentiation between this and anything.
I'm just giving shit, but yeah, so it's strangely cold. It's summertime. We're talking 10 o'clock in the morning. It's probably 65 degrees with this cool breeze. There's a heavy overcast, and just the energy of Pandora is just dark and dreary.
Where is Edith Park in relation to everything in the map?
That's a great question. So the old district is to the northwest of Pandora. Edith Park is the center point of Pandora in itself.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys have looked at the map recently. That is on Instagram. That's not a call to go look at our Instagram, but so we've got the old district in the northwest.
You guys have an Instagram? I'm kidding.
Pandora's police department is to the west of Central Park, but Edith Park. Edith Park is quite literally the eye in the middle of Pandora. The neon pillars are to the southeast. And then Colin, I think I made an executive decision for you stating that you were also in Old District, so you were just to the north of Edith Park.
Where Blockbuster belongs.
In
Exactly.
the old district. Yeah, that actually is sensible. Okay.
Yeah, you and Dell are more or less in the same neighborhoods.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, and I do apologize, not trying to cut anybody off. Pandora is a metropolis. This is a massive city. It's very, very comic book Superman metropolis. So that's why you're going to have the ability to bring in all of these different types of environment, because we're not talking just kind of some little small secluded, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but fucking offshoot, just small town where weird things are happening. We're talking a metropolis. This is a massive city where anything is possible.
I'm gonna warn you.
That's what the word I was trying to come up with.
I'm gonna warn you, T, that like as the story goes and as my imagination takes off, I'm gonna have ideas for gadgets.
That's the whole point
Dell
of this.
has created. But I give you full right to say no. That's way too OP. Scale that down.
Cool.
And I'll try to tell you those things like beforehand.
No,
but like
you just better roll
while we were
really
going,
well.
I was like,
you just better
writing.
roll really well, because you might lose another arm.
I only got the one. But Dale rose up. We said like what, by the big tree? Is there like Edith Park is big.
I think
there,
you
like, a
guys would
fountain?
probably go to the first murder, which took place at on the path near what would be the massive tree. One of you has I guess technically all of you would understand that big tree is not just a massive oak in the middle of Edith Park. In the middle of Edith Park is Yggdrasil. Those that are touched by the mist do recognize what this tree is. Everybody else just sees, oh, that's a big ass fucking tree central in Pandora.
Is the
And I
first
think we'd established it was an ash tree.
Yes, ash tree. Thank you for the correction.
Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
Is the first murdered the victim? That's Samit Maxim.
That was Samit Maxim.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wrote these down in the order that you had said that they were killed in.
Yep.
I think Colin's walking up, having seen Dell like probably do a couple laps past him. I imagine Dell's the kind of person who takes the long way to get to somewhere to enjoy it. So I think that Colin probably saw
Generally, yeah.
him and was like, "Oh, there goes Dell," and then walked a couple more blocks, and then in front of him again on a motorcycle. How many one-armed guys can there be on a motorcycle in the city? Oh, there's Dell again, and then just kind of kept eventually got there. Just a little bit after Dell did.
Oh, one question. We that are touched by the mist, we can recognize Yggdrasil, like this tree is Yggdrasil, but like, and when we just see the world, do we see basically like sparkles, like anything that's touched by the mist, or like,
so basically in canon, how the mist works is, you know how like cliche mist is in animation, where you see kind of like swirling around things.
Yeah.
The sleepers are just void of all of that. Anything that has influence by the mist has that shroud of mist kind of entranced around them. Not enough where it's like just overtaking them, but you recognize. Everybody else is like, oh man, this is just a foggy city all the time. You guys recognize that the fog is the mist.
But so okay, one gadget that I want is like I want a kind of a leather monocle that goes over one eye. That when I'm wearing it,
Let you pass
I
go.
can.
It's like $200. Sorry.
No, you shall not. No, I could see like if somebody came into my presence without using their mist powers, I could still maybe recognize it, whether they are touched by the mist, or maybe if they left an item or something that is magical or something, I could recognize that it's mystical. I don't know what it does, I don't know everything, but I could see
So that's
that
actually redundant. That is just something you are capable of doing as is.
That was my question.
Yeah, that's complete redundancy.
So to help it out, think like
in Hellboy, they know who's like, or no, in Men in Black. Sorry, I don't know why I said Hellboy.
Yeah,
In Men in
you
Black,
guys
they're like,
see.
like I know you're you. I know you're you.
Right. You
They
guys
can see the aliens. Got it.
Yeah, you guys see them for what they are. The sleepers see them as what we as normal individuals would see. You look at Colin, for example, and if you're just blankly looking at Colin, you just see Colin's figure. But if you like, I don't want to say something, but like you recognize that feeling when you kind of like bring in all of your surroundings. Like behind Colin is just this, I don't want to say massive, but like a creature exists on top of Colin that has this radiating leadership energy to him. It's a bright light of an armored individual, fair skin, blonde hair, just kind of overlooking Colin as a whole. But then when you guys get into combat, that is when the mist physicalness comes more into play.
Yeah, it starts manifesting.
Manifesting, thank you.
Okay.
Does that make
Okay.
sense? I know I just said a lot of words
Yes.
that were
At first, it
alluding
looks
to, but
At first, it just looks like a bunch of fallen numbers and figures, but after a while, you don't even see the code. Blonde, brunette, redhead.
thank you, Jepsons.
God damn it. I mean, it works. It works so well.
And
So
yet
then
you're
I'm
mad.
just leaning against the ash tree, waiting for everybody, and I'm just like tossing something up in my hands.
Hands? You only have one hand.
In my hand,
Just fidgeting.
which I'm currently also doing
There you go.
Same.
in real time. Hey, Colin, long time no see.
It's been like 8 hours or so, I think.
Well, what have you been doing with those 8 hours of freedom?
Choice word. I went back home, called the boss, let her know I was gonna be off for a day or so doing some family business.
And where's the boss? Where do you
Boss?
work? What is your profession?
Oh, I'm well, technically it says customer service representative on my name tag, but I basically just suggest cassettes and DVDs for people to acquire the Blockbuster.
That's right. I forgot. We talked about this last night.
Oh yeah. We must have. I don't think that I went too into detail. I don't want to talk about myself that much. It's not really,
Well, I have
What
a
about-
way of getting that out of you, you know. Stick with me.
Is anybody else here?
I'll walk up and be like,
They'll stop hitting on the new guy.
Listen, it's not hitting, it's just being friendly.
Look, you're
Wait,
at,
was he hitting on me?
you're at bat right now, and it's too early for that. I'm not. Keep your,
Buddy, this bat's always ready.
keep the innuendos to yourself for a little bit. We gotta accomplish something today.
Hey, they're not mutually exclusive. We can do both.
I'm gonna look up, be like, is our other newfound friend gonna? I'm just like looking for the drone. Is our newfound friend coming? Or what?
Andresj will be walking through the park at this point, and be like looking at a notepad, looking around, and
Is he limping around?
we ice the ankles overnight.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Ice and elevation. It's okay.
yeah, ice and elevation. But like looking around the park and like putting on an act that is very different from what we've seen Andresj, how they've presented themselves up to this point. Kind of nervous and looking around, and then sees the group of 3 there, and walks up to the detective actually, and like, I'm sorry, are you Detective Cooper?
Yes.
And these 2 are the... I wasn't given any other names, but I was told to meet you here.
And who might you
Okay.
be, handsome?
The broker hired me on to come and help out.
Well, let's add a fifth to this mess.
So they don't like to get their hands dirty?
I missed that entirely, Alex. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So they don't like to get their hands dirty themselves?
No, they stay. In case you didn't notice yesterday, they tend to keep themselves far removed.
Awesome.
I can't say I blame them. This isn't the best work.
Why can't people just show up when they're supposed to? What can I? What
We're all like 3 minutes early, man. Chill out.
No, it's just more fucking people to keep track of. I swear to God, I'm just gonna.
I'm sorry. I can.
No, you're fine. What's your name? What's your profession?
My name is Andresj, and I help out at the
Bold.
I mean, really, I just
Scribbling the name. Helps broker.
I'm a body for hire. More than anything, I don't have any single profession.
Don't fucking say anything, though. I swear to God.
Listen, as
No.
I put what I was tossing, I put it in kind of a side pocket, and I go to stick out my left hand. I'm like, well, name's Cornelius Averdelius III, but my friends call me Dale.
And Andresj will reach out their left hand and shake it. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dal.
Pardon the lefty. It's not for mistrust. It's my only option, as you can see.
Didn't think twice about it.
Yeah, some people are still left-handed, though.
I think you would be misplaced thinking twice about Cornelius here.
And then I'll just point at that over there is Colin. He's, I guess, a hired person himself.
I'm also a
these
body
days.
for hire. Yeah.
So maybe
Colin.
you guys, I don't know.
Dal.
Oh, must be friends.
Okay.
Yeah. So, can we? Is anybody else gonna come? I'm just like, I don't even know. It didn't. Pierce is gonna just keep throwing curveballs at me, and I just have more people to keep track of.
I'm sorry, are you our babysitter or are you here to work this case with us?
We're working together, but you gotta understand where I come from and my obligations. If things go wrong, it's a lot more complicated for me than it is for you all.
Oh.
Hey, this is plenty complicated for us. You're getting paid to be here. We had to put our jobs on hold. I'll be back in 15 minutes sign. I'm gonna leave it there till I get back.
I could have made $80 whole if I had worked today. I just want you to know.
If it makes you feel better,
Hold on, question. How long is your shift? We need to establish
It
what
works-
minimum wage is in Pandora.
No, I don't want to be the one. This is after taxes, so like you also have to establish a tax system
10 hours.
if you do that.
He doesn't get current minimum wage at Blockbuster.
I do because I'm a felon. I think I absolutely do because I'm a felon.
I say we
He
keep
gets
this. I say we keep this
$19.99.
simple. He works a 10-hour shift
Oh,
for $8 an hour.
Christ.
Yeah.
dear God.
Better than corporate America.
It's
Anyways,
supposed to be $7.50, but Claire's really nice, so.
All right.
All right then, Cooper. Then what do you know? We're here. We know that this was the place where the first murder happened,
So
which is kind of funny. It's this tree.
yes, ironically it is this tree. So obviously someone, I mean, I doubt this is a sleeper here. Like, we wouldn't be called for that. I mean, I guess I would be called for that, but obviously this is somebody who's connected to the mist in some way, shape, or form.
Or they will be, or would have been.
Or they would have been. Thank you, Colin. Now,
We really didn't get much when we pulled the body last time. So it's been some time. I don't know if you guys know anything more about this part of the park, but yeah, I'm in here often enough, but not to know its in and outs. Is anybody a regular here? You guys doing anything scumbaggery?
Are we looking for just anything?
I'm looking for ideas at this point. Like, I was told I was coming for the genie. I have a whole new freaking profile to build. I really don't know a whole lot.
Bubba, we all were told we're coming for the genie.
Yes.
What did you?
All right, Lucas, to
about the
make
body?
your life a little bit easier, so you have a concept. So you've got 3 case files in hand at the moment. So your first case file is for Samit Maxim. He was a bald, average building Middle Eastern man. His body was found about 30 yards away from the tree that you're at currently. Blood stains are still on the concrete because his body was absolutely mutilated. They had to use dental and what few fingers he had left for identification because his body was just absolutely filleted in a malicious act. Did not look surgical. It did not look professional. It looked spontaneous and just cannibalistic.
Okay.
Your second case file, we said, was for
Tony Aylen?
Tony Aylen. Tony was she was a short, slender-framed. She had thick brown hair, just a Caucasian woman. She was murdered also on the path, probably 100 yards away. Her body was a little more put together. It was less. In a detective's mind, you would think that Samit was a random act of violence. Tony might be a little more of a calculated murder. She was still grotesquely killed, but weirdly enough, her face was skinned off.
Okay.
And then finally, Hemming Torsten is a German man, short blonde hair, blue eyes, stocky build. Again, another cannibalistic murder, but his face was also skinned off.
Did you say cannibalistic or animalistic?
Yes. Said cannibalistic, but it was more animalistic, so thank you for the correction.
No, I just want to make sure that there wasn't evidence of like digested bits of meat or like looks like bite. I mean, I'm sure there are things look like.
No, there absolutely was.
¿Por qué no los dos?
All of
What was
the bodies.
description?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
What was the description for? Trying to get my own notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hemming Torsen.
Hemming Torsen was a German man, stocky build, short blonde hair, blue eyes. All of these bodies have bite marks. All of these bodies have claw marks. Torn to shreds, but each one to a slightly lesser degree. And then just in canon, we'll say this is kind of information you provided off to them. And then just kind of for sake of their little bio, so you guys are all canonically on the same page. Salim Makesum was a pharmacist. He lived in the Echelon high-rise. Tony was a tech lead at one of the tech companies in the area. Also lived in the Echelon high-rise. And then Hemming was a screenwriter who, shockingly enough, also lived in the Echelon high-rise.
And that's like one apartment building?
Yes.
Or is that many?
That is a singular building.
Okay.
Your guys' knowledge of the Echelon high-rise is that is where your upper middle class is living.
So,
Well, sounds like somebody's perfecting their art to me.
Well, it sounds like somebody could just very well be a serial killer, but also, yeah, this is almost
To
like
shreds, you say?
ritualistic, I swear.
Jeff says, was that
I was gonna.
And his wife? Oh my, it's a shreds, you say.
It's gonna do it.
I'm not getting the reference.
It's a Futurama reference.
Yeah.
Oh. Never watched it.
It's coming back, sadly.
Alright, so...
Well, it almost sounds like to me, the first thought that came to mind was somebody needed some skin. Took the clean off some meat, and then he tried on Tony's face and didn't like it. So then he put on Hemi's face.
So Hemi, sorry, Mr. Torsten was also missing a face.
Yes. Only 2 of the 3. The first one, I'm assuming this is probably a new rift and got a little out of control. But now this rift is honing in and probably taking over this person's life.
Oh, maybe they're going full out. Now,
I don't
I'm
think
kind of new to this whole thing. What do you mean taking over the person's life?
so. This happens. So on the same aspect as we have, all these sleepers around. Occasionally, when the mist is particularly drawn into a person, they start losing themselves to the mist, and it can cause a number of psychological, physical manifestations, and who knows, and literally will drive someone crazy.
What are we looking for here?
Anything that you guys could think of. I'm gonna start walking over towards the actual where the body was, and
Which crime scene are you going towards?
I'm gonna go to the first one, and
Some
I'd like
meat.
to go to the second one.
and this is gonna suck. I'm gonna pull out just this, it looks to you guys like a lantern, just a small little lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna set it down. I'm gonna pop it up, and this is one of my gatekeeper tools. This is a mist beacon, so it's gonna thicken the mist around us.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go. If I start seizing, just roll me on my side. And because Cooper's he's pretty experienced now at this, and I'm gonna sit down, and I'm going to perch. So for the viewers and everything, perching is the art form of pulling information from the mist, and that is one of my gatekeeper abilities for my mist. I can, because I am a more experienced person, I have a higher clearance. These guys might not know that, but I have a higher clearance. I can try and pull, standard people perching can pull information from the now, from anywhere in the city. They can try and pull, because the mist is this fabric that you can pull from. And I'm gonna try and pull from the past.
Okay.
And unfortunately for me, I am going to almost experience this.
This is fun. All right, go ahead and roll Investigate. When you use your abilities to seek answers to burning questions, burn plus power.
Okay, so
So perching would be what, just a +1?
so perching would be a +1, and I don't think I could just flat out use detective for this, unfortunately.
Cooper, are you gonna start seizing because of inhaling something?
No, it's hopefully I'm not the one getting torn to shreds. I just essentially, guys, I'm just gonna
Oh, you relive the experience.
potentially, I could potentially relive this experience.
No, I would say detective is something valid because you are still a detective when you go into this, so you have those skills that you've established. So I would give you a +2 on this.
Okay.
Good luck.
Oh, I got stuck. Okay. Oh, it's a 4. Oh, yeah. What's this level gonna be? Oh, it's not good. This is +2. That's a big old 7.
Okay, so investigate. On a hit, you get clues equal power. Spend your clues one to ask an MCA question about the subject of your investigation or another player relevant question about their character. They must give you a straight answer on either way. So on a 7 to 9, you can choose one. Your investigation exposes you to a danger. The clues you get are fuzzy, incomplete, part true, part false. Whenever or whatever you are asking the questions can answer one question as well. So those are your between your 7 and the 9, those are your 3 options of how this works, and then we will play out the scene.
Oh, I'm totally taking the first one, the potential, because I already just mentioned having a seizure.
That exposes you to danger.
Yep. So like that I'm assuming that would be like my danger.
Yep. So that is going to give you. This is going to be one I don't think you can face the danger on. This is going to just be an effect of the affect. So you are going to take a mild status. So for this scene, you will be carrying a -1 for. We're just going to call it seizures because that's just what's been established. So in the scene with a 7 to 9,
I would say I would say if it's if it's a mild, I'll just like we say like a migraine, and then like if I go up,
that's valid. That's valid. Thank you for a better example.
A seizure, we should never call a seizure a mild status. I feel like that kind of people.
Good correction. Thank you for that.
Like, that's a little extreme. Homie just walking down the road, be like,
Statuses doesn't have like examples, like so I have to like come up with the tags for them. So that's actually better. Thank you for that.
Yep.
All right. So as you sit down, as you begin to perch, like are you just sitting directly down on the ground? Or are you sitting on?
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit crisscross and
okay.
Kind of. I'm gonna take a deep breath in, close my eyes, and just like it's almost how like people like jump into the water for the first time. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be like a rush of feeling like that.
Okay, and are the 3 of you watching this encounter happen?
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah!
I've never seen
this
I want to
before.
see a guy seize out.
I think that I'm like squatting next to him, just kind of looking in case he does start seizing.
Fair enough. All right, so the scene you guys see is as Detective Cooper sits down and he pops open the beacon. You guys are used to seeing the mist at this point. You guys have all been touched for 8+ years at this point. So the mist, you guys
for me.
Okay, right. But the mist you guys see so often, it's kind of like a mundane thing. But now with this beacon active, it's starting to darken. The purples and the grays are becoming much more prevalent in color to your sight as it begins swirling around both the beacon and Cooper, and a scene begins to take play for you guys to watch. Cooper, on the other hand, you are now in the eyesight of somebody, and you are running through Edith Park. You've got music playing in your headphones, and you are just doing your nightly jog. It's another night, you're getting your exercise in for the day. You just keep running past lights as you're kind of making your distance through the park, keeping your pace. You start hearing sounds coming through the brush. You hear leaves begin to rustle. You hear growls. And then suddenly you are tackled to the ground from behind. You feel your skin begin clawed at. You begin feeling bites as flesh is getting ripped out of you. And your migraine begins to form as you are encompassed by a scream of desperation, cries for help. The 3 of you are watching this mist enact the scene that he's experienced right now. You see a shadowed figure running across the path, and off to the side you see a four-legged creature, some type of beast, running from the brush and tackling this shadowy figure to the ground and beginning to mutilate the body, cutting at it, tearing at it, ripping at it. And you see the shadow trying to fight back against it, but is just completely weak and unable to do anything to this beast. And then the mist begins to subside as it begins to weaken, as it begins to dull out. And Cooper, you are brought back as the beacon comes to a close, wisping away this darkened mist as everything goes back to what is considered to you guys normal.
Sit there and like lurch forward, like, fuck. You good, buddy? You need mouth to mouth?
I will kick your ass. I'm literally gonna pull my revolver out. I will fucking shoot you. I swear to God.
Would be the first time.
Were we able to? You said we were able to see the like the shadows or the mist give like some semblance of form to those two figures.
Correct. The shadowy figure was just a humanoid figure running through the woods, and the thing that attached it was just a four-legged beastly creature. You can't make it out. There's no definitive qualities, but you could tell it was a large-sized four-legged beast.
Like how large? Like a wolf size, or like
wolf, cougar, panther, in that large feline-esque.
This is something that.
So my dog.
Yeah.
This is something that I don't know if it will actually work because we are looking at echoes essentially. But I would like to use my mythos to try and peer into the mind of the beast.
What do I have your character sheet? Obviously I should.
That's
What where are you at?
It's the first power tag on my mythos.
Did I not? I don't know if I have your character sheet.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh.
Could you drop it to me on Discord real quick?
Yeah.
Thank you kindly.
I don't have a
like
digital version of my sheet.
Yes, you do.
Well, I don't have. I added something. Well, no, I guess I didn't really
well,
add
here
so
you
much
go
to them.
then, buddy. Let me just.
No, you
re-drop
sent
yours.
me some, but if I add to them, I'm not doing it digitally.
If you want it in general.
No, I have them. I printed what you sent me the first time.
Right, and I just sent you the digital copy of your character sheet, so you can update it as needed. I'm definitely not opposed to this idea, Jeff, because I do like it a lot. Knowledge is power. Oh, not that one. Neon Pillars City. You were looking at the Neon Pillars tag, correct?
No, the divination.
Divination. Okay. And Sherlock and opponent. Were you trying to use the I?
The first one.
Okay.
A.
I'll allow it. The only thing I am going to put a limitation on it.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an investigate roll. On a 10, I technically would have to give you a solid lead, but because you are watching an echo of a circumstance, it's going to be vague, but yes, I would allow something like this.
Cool. Alright. I mean, that's only a 7 anyway.
So on a 7, which is good canonically for what we just kind of established there. So this is, again, you get to pick. Your investigation exposes you to a danger. The clues you get are fuzzy, incomplete, or part true, part false. Whoever or whatever you are asking the questions can ask you one question as well. You answer on the same terms.
We'll do the fuzzy. Like,
Okay.
I'm not expecting to get too much from this.
So
just,
yeah.
I saw an opportunity and I want to take it.
So whether the three of you look at Andresj as this happens, or this just happens, but for the viewers, Andresj, as he is observing this scenario, an eye opens in the middle of his forehead.
It's the
Oh, that's correct.
the right eye
Cool.
Thank
starts
you.
to glow.
Thank you for the correcting. The right eye begins to glow as the pupil almost takes a mind of its own, shooting around in your eyesight, trying to take in all of this information. And the shot is going to follow the attack backwards. You watch as the attack takes place, and your vision begins to focus in on the beast as it's attacking the individual. You feel just animalistic instincts as it is tearing into this. And then as the scene begins to almost rewind, you feel less rage. You begin to feel fear. You begin to feel anger. You begin to feel scared. You begin to feel out of place, and almost as if this creature's reacting to something. And then your eye goes back to normal as you kind of shock back into life around you.
What the hell is that?
Just trying to gather some more information. And as Andresj is looking up and talking, both their eyes are milky white, like that of a blind person. As they're just kind of staring blankly ahead. Like, they turn in your direction, Del, to talk to you, but like are looking just off center of your face. Just trying to gather some more information. I saw an opportunity present itself and figured I might take it. I don't think this creature is... This creature seems to be running from something itself, maybe. Something triggered it, and that's what caused... something triggered it. And that had some impact on it turning into the animal that caused this murder.
So,
You said turning into this animal.
Did you see it change?
You think he wasn't always this way?
Doesn't seem like it, no.
And how did you know? How'd you get all that? Just from going blind and shit?
I'm very empathetic.
right, okay, cool, yeah.
I want to.
Question, GM.
MC, thank you.
MC,
I am the
my
master
bad.
of ceremonies.
My bad. It will never happen again.
Fucking better not.
From here, where is the Echelon high rise?
The Echelon high rise is to the east of the park. So if you guys turn around from the murder scene, you can see the high rise shooting into the sky. Is a massive building. It's probably 4 or 5 blocks to the east, but due to the size of it, it is very noticeable. You know that is the Echelon high rise.
4 or 5. You know what? It's interesting. It seems we got 2 places of note. We got the Echelon high rise, of course, where all the victims are from, and then we got this park. And if I know anything about animals, which we used to have some old wild dogs around up in the old district, they always bring the food back to where they live. Y'all think this thing lives here in the park?
If it's a person, I doubt it. But if it's something else, then perhaps. If it is, it's hiding well. It's not like this park isn't populated during the day.
Well,
Is this park, sorry, another MC question. Is this park just like trees? Or is
Think
like
New
Central
York
Park?
Central Park.
So in the Central Park, there's some like big rock formations.
Yes.
There are those here as well.
We're talking little, what the fucking roundabout things called? Carousels. Carousels was the
there's a
word I was
carousel?
looking. We're talking carousels. There are street vendors. There are running paths. There are little exercise gardens. There are rock formations.
there's
You
like
just
7
minded it,
different
but-
groups. There's like 7 different groups doing Tai Chi.
Yes.
So, I think Cornelius raises a good point. There are 2 locations. I don't have much I can offer here, so if anybody doesn't mind, Cooper, can you
Which
give
one?
me the addresses of the people?
I mean, do we? Are we going into their houses next? Like, is that what you guys want to do? I can't just.
I mean, I think it's important that we establish their connection.
I mean, okay, but
When was the most recent murder?
that'd be Hemming.
It would have been 11 days ago. If
The
it happens
most-
every 2 weeks,
Yes.
and there's another one 3 days from now.
Okay.
So,
Then yeah, I don't know if we're going to find much more here.
well,
We could check the other scenes, but it feels like, with the exception of Tony, who had a different form of murder, or a
No,
more
no,
clean
not-
version.
not
Her
just-
face was cut off. Come on, that's different.
No,
Hemming also.
Hemming had his face cut off too. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think the first one, this is almost ritualistic, guys. I swear. Like, whatever.
Or
it
on a
is.
feeding schedule.
Do you need an ibuprofen?
I'll be okay. And, look, we can go to their. Well, yeah, we can go to their places. Just please don't steal anything.
Could I do one thing before we leave here? And I'm gonna reach in my back pouch, and to the sleepers, to the rest of the world, it looks just like a little jar with a dragonfly in it. But what y'all see is this little tiny mechanic looking like a dragonfly, but it's made of little gears and little tiny, almost like watch parts.
Cool.
I like
And-
this.
And let me just do a quick pass through. And so I'm gonna unscrew the jar, delicately pull out the dragonfly, and put the jar back. Oh wait, I have one hand. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna set the jar down.
Bite the top
I'm
of the
gonna.
jar.
Hey, just get you have, instead of a jar with
popper.
a screw, it's a pop.
One man, one jar.
All right.
Oh,
All
God.
right.
Oh, God.
Thank you for watching 4 Geeks by Geeks. We just got canceled.
Do not Google it. He's done. He's done. I'm gonna pull out this dragonfly, and I'm gonna set him also on the ground, and then I'm gonna pull down my goggle monocle.
Okay.
And what I'd like to happen
goggle.
is a cannon goggle. I have a gadget glossary, and that is what's called. What I'd like to happen is
Ooh, no, sorry.
as
Monogogigal.
Goggle?
McGonagall?
Monogogigal.
Monogogigal. What I'd like to
The
happen
professor
is
from Harry Potter. Sorry. Anyways.
that as it flies around, I can see what it sees.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Great.
Birds aren't real. The government's watching you.
Correct.
That's right.
Anyways.
The government's not real birds.
Let me just do a little pass through, and so I give it I give a little wind up. It's got like and it starts to flap its wings, and then it takes off. And what I'm looking for, basically, I can see what it sees, but also like with the same way that I can see the mist, it can too. And other than Idrisil tree, I'm looking for anything that there seems to be kind of a gathered place beyond what I would already recognize. Since I come through here enough, I've lived here a while.
So that
I'm
would
looking
be
for
an investigation roll.
And anything out of the ordinary of the ring of the mist.
And then what power tags are you using with? And
I'm
then
gonna
reminder, because this is one continuous scene, the power tags you are currently using in these circumstances for investigation cannot be used again.
I have Fact Finder on my mission.
Okay.
Could I use that?
Sure. So that'll be a +1.
Okay. So I got a 7 + 1 is 8.
Okay. So on a mixed success, you can choose investigate. Your investigation exposes you to a danger. The clues you get are fuzzy, incomplete, part true or part false. Whoever you are talking to, asking the questions, can ask you one question as well. You answer on the same terms. So which one would you like?
I'm not really asking anybody a question, so I'll take the clues are fuzzy.
Okay. So as the dragonfly kind of jumps up from your hand, doing a quick look around as your eyes collaborate together and begin to shoot in on the vision from this dragonfly's perspective, the dragonfly begins to zip around as this guy shoots up towards the sky, giving you an overview look of Edith Park. And you are getting several marks all over the park itself of what looks like individuals touched by the mist. But towards the center of one of the in the middle of the park, there is a group of individuals doing something, but there is a collective of touched.
Okay, and that's normal.
Sure.
Or there's a collective, like there's a group that are all together.
Yep, just kind of in the middle of one of the grassy knolls in Central Park, or in Edith Park.
Like separated from everybody else.
So from what you can see, if you would, as the dragonfly would fly over, you would just see a group of individuals slowly practicing a form of martial arts. But from what you can see is the group from the dragon eyes, they're all touched by the mist.
Okay. And how many people are there?
I would say there's probably 10.
I was gonna say, are they? Is there 4 of them, and are they green?
So 10. Okay, so I'm as I see it through the dragonfly, I'm just kind of having a stream of consciousness what I see out loud, so the rest can take note. 10 individuals are practicing some sort of fight style. They're all touched. Also, does my dragonfly, as it passes through, does it see any, like, I guess what I'm kind of looking for is, if this thing lived here in the park, would it have a lair? Would it have a home? Would it have a spot that it resides?
As you would fly around, you would see some small cave entrances, but none of them are emitting a bunch of mist.
Okay. I see a cave, but it doesn't seem like there's much mist activity there. But y'all know about a group that fights 10 of them? All touched. You heard of that before, Cooper?
This is something I think I actually can. I'm savvy and streetwise, and I have a connection to some people who were a little touched and physically involved, we'll say. I don't know if this is necessarily investigating, but I don't know what this. I mean, it has to be investigating, right? This is more about like something that I've already. This would be like the D&D equivalent of like a history check, I guess, but I don't know what the.
Yeah, I would say just in general, you wouldn't need to make a roll on this because this is just you have knowledge of this circumstance. You just know that in the park there is a regular group of individuals that practice a more ancient form of martial arts.
Yeah, these. I don't really get martial arts, but they've kind of been meeting here for a real long time. It's kind of more art to them than anything. It's an old practice that they've kind of kept alive through their circle. I don't think they've ever been violent against people. It's more about practicing for the continuation
the
of
embodiment
practicing.
of discipline, the mind, the body, and the soul. And
Did you read that off of a fortune cookie, or?
I will fuck you up. I'm not in the mood.
This is the second time that an officer of the law has threatened us. I just want you to know you all have rights.
I want you all to know that I am not operating under the capacity of the normal law. We will fight.
And yet he acts like he's above us. So which one is it?
Listen.
Y'all, can you have this little
Colin,
lover spat
Colin,
later?
Colin. Look, I don't want to be here. You clearly don't want to be here. I'm not trying to bully you. No, it's just, look, I'm sorry. If
Bullying
I come
implies an air of superiority, and I don't find you better than me. So.
Okay, look. Fuck the apology then. I'm just trying to do my job, and I just watched or felt like I got torn to shreds. So, could you just give me a little bit of a break? And
No. Where are we going next?
Should we go check on that group of martial artists? Or do they seem irrelevant to the current case?
they're here all the time. I don't see a reason. They're not here at the time of the murder, so.
All the more reason that we should go. They're here all the time. They may have witnessed or heard something. There could be an eyewitness or somebody who heard anything, a scream even, could be news.
Alright, well, go and ask them then.
How?
If you want to.
How close are we to Yggdrasil at this point?
30 yards, I think we established.
Yeah.
Because you're still at the
So-
first crime scene.
Right.
Oh, I need to update my tag because I'm blind. Wasn't there some old timer sleeping over on the bench by the tree?
I don't care about the homeless.
Again, proving that he is here as a cop. Doesn't care about the homeless.
You may have seen something. It's worth asking.
Look, obviously we
Man,
can't.
y'all are good at this detective shit, except you, detective.
Dell, you're really good at gadgets until you fucking blow yourself up. All right.
Listen, it's called learn curve.
Yeah. Look, obviously we canvassed the place before. If you guys want to talk to him, he didn't really give us much the first time. So, hence the reason I am kind of just spent right now. Also, again, I just got torn to shreds, and you guys are kind of annoying right now.
Seems like the kind of thing you volunteered for, though. So, like.
Well, we can let the detective sit on the bench for a bit. We can just bench him for a bit. The rest of us can try and take the lead. And Andresj is still just staring blankly off into the distance, like at this point, like facing to the left of the entire group, not really realizing where you are.
Hey, do you need to hold my hand or something?
I'm hesitant to take that offer.
Yeah, no, don't hold his hand.
Listen. This hand is soft.
No. No.
I moisturize
No.
it.
No.
I don't like being told what to do, and Andresj will like reach towards Dell to like try and find his hand.
And on that note,
Dell,
likes to be told what to do.
Dell, no.
No, doesn't like to be told what to do.
Oh.
Dell.
Yeah. So grab your hand because
Dell,
the detectives tried to
consent.
tell Andresj
Got
not
it.
to.
Consent, Dell.
Listen, I'm here on a job. Just because I like to fuck doesn't mean I like to fuck all the time, alright?
Dell, I want
God damn it.
written consent.
Andresj's hand is just like on Dell's face, just like going down his shoulder.
Yep, you keep working at it. Keep finding it.
Oh my god.
Grabs you by the wrist. All right, direct me towards the.
That's not. Never mind. Moving on.
The wrist? Hell yeah!
Direct me towards the homeless person.
Alright, let's go, Bubba. And I lead him over to The homeless person's sleeping on the bench by Idrisil.
Correct.
I'm gonna
The homeless
show it.
individual has his hat pulled down over his eyes. He's just laid back on a bench, clearly snoring. A cup clenched in his fist, kind of hanging off the bench.
Andresj will reach into one of their pockets and pull out a silver dollar coin and drop it into the cup.
And almost instinctually, as the metal clinks against the glass, hello.
Old timer,
Easy, buddy.
we were wondering, there have been some murders here.
I didn't do it.
No, I didn't expect you to.
Well, the cop accused me of doing it.
That's
Asshole.
why the cops- That's why the cop's not asking this time. Just wondering if you've seen anything.
The homeless man sits up, adjusting his hat, looking down into his cup. Thanks. Yeah, I was here.
You were, what, about, be almost about 2 weeks ago? Would be the last time you saw this.
Oh, well, I saw the first one because it was like right over there. It was.
What'd you see?
It was disgusting. Some feral creature came running out of the brush and just attacked that poor man running.
Can you describe what it looked like? Sorry.
I mean, it was dark. There was mangled hair, fangs, claws. Had a tail, but it was like matted and I don't know. It was a weird looking beast.
Did it notice you at all?
It was pretty hyper focused on that poor guy.
And what were you hyper focused on?
Not going towards the creature, shredding the man running.
Were you the one who got police on the scene?
You can't confirm that, cop.
I'm not a cop.
As he gives you a weird side eye. Depends. Is there a reward for any information?
Yeah, I
Did you
don't kick
see-
you from here to Timbuktu.
Then I didn't call shit.
Easy enough.
Stand down, Colin. And Andresj will pull another silver dollar coin out of their pocket and drop it in the cup.
I sure
Just-
did, because I didn't want him to die.
Did you see where the creature came from or where it went? Even just a general direction.
Right back the way it came, ripped out of that brush, killed the man in a terrifying time, and then ran right back to the brush.
Can I ask a weird question? We know that guy kind of lost all of his skin. Do you know if he lost it all in one piece?
No, it was like like if you put a body into a shredder. Like, you ever watch them cartoons where like kids dig into stuff and things go flying in the air? It was like that, but with like blood and guts and skin.
Really didn't get many cartoons in the last few years, but I can use my imagination.
You do that.
I don't need to use my imagination.
Alright, well, thanks, old timer.
The old timer's
Frank.
gonna give you a wink and then lay back, cover his eyes again, and go.
Hey, before you go to bed, can I ask your name, buddy?
Steve, and lowers the flap, revealing only the one eye.
Steve, thank you kindly.
I'm gonna be honest, that's a lot more than I
Okay.
thought than $2 would get from a homeless person, but I usually have to pay more to get anything from them. At least
Look.
you get
20
More
bucks
honey.
is 20 bucks.
more flies with
Yeah.
honey than vinegar.
That's what I was about to say. See, I think we're starting to rub off on you, Colin.
No.
Oh no, I'm not going to use honey. I'm still going to use vinegar. I don't care about getting more flies. I just
If you
wanted to note that you did a good job with that.
at least let go of my hand first, Del.
Before we rub off on him.
Yes.
We could do it together.
I'd rather not.
All right.
To the apartment complex.
Del, you can't. Yeah.
But you better get used to this. This is all the time.
No, I was never used to this, and I never.
I
will
speak
be.
fluid innuendo.
I will never be used to this, because quite frankly, it kind of weirds me out a little bit.
Hey, you gotta embrace it one day. You and me, buddy, ain't nothing but mammals.
Here's the
Go to
address.
the high rise now.
Here's the address. I'll meet you guys there and open the scene.
Alright. Del, I guess I'm traveling with you.
Well, good thing I got my seat's big enough for two. Colin, how you getting there? Actually, I'm kind of good at this shit. You want to ride with me too, Colin?
No thanks, I'll walk.
Colin, you can.
All right.
You can get in the back of the cruiser.
No thanks, I'll walk.
What? For good old time's sake.
Colin is gonna walk up to him and just sort of stand over him, and then just get walking.
So I'm gonna lead you over to the.
Something.
I did. My bad. Thanks for the correction.
Yeah. I just saw your mouth move, and I was like, this was probably funny, and I wanted to hear it.
Oh no, I was just progressing the story. I was gonna say the scene fades out as the three groups kind of walk in separate directions. Cooper back to his squad car. Colin making a beeline towards the high rise, and then Del awkwardly bringing Andresj to his motorcycle. So as the scene fades out, we kind of got to see you guys walk as we get a wider view of Edith Park, and then back towards a wider view of Pandora. And then the scene is going to immediately shoot over to the front entrance of the
Echelon
high rise. Who would get there first?
Not Colin.
Probably Del and Andresj.
So as we pull up on the motorcycle, we're just gonna do kind of a loop-de-loo around the whole block and kind of get an eye for entrances. Are there any alleys nearby? Is there a doorman? Is this like a fancy place? Does it have a gate?
Yes, this is a very fancy place. At the front entrance is a very stocky, well put together black man. You can tell your mental image is the type of doorman that's had this same job for 35 years. Everybody knows and loves him. The kids get candy every time they come and go because they're on a first name basis with him. He's just got a great relationship with everybody. But he's got a sternness in his eyes. Very, very... Guy has a protective aura around him, but also that like friendly giantness to him.
You know who it is? It's the guy from John Wick that runs not runs the Continental, but he's the clerk at the Continental Hotel in John Wick.
Yeah.
For those who actually watched it,
Great movies.
I watched the first one.
so you know what I'm talking about.
I didn't watch the third, but I still want to.
They're all three movies are actually pretty incredible movies.
Super good.
It's on my list.
I'm seeing shapes at least now.
Shapes and colors.
Instead of a big black blob, it's a big white blob.
How long does this last?
Don't.
A scene.
A scene.
Good. And scene.
Usually not too long.
Well, that's a scene that ends in a big white blob. That's 40
It's
spikes
my
again.
favorite.
You can find that on our
kinda
spicy
scene.
site. Anyways,
It says.
It's like Patreon.
onlyfans.com/4geekspikes. Anyways,
For fans by fans.
Yeah.
for fans by
By
fans.
fans.
Oh no.
But like at this point, Andresj
For
is,
sluts by geeks.
at this point, Andresj's sight is coming back as we're circling around, and like you're
I'd pay
getting,
for Andresj.
What's that?
Nothing.
We're done. Reel it back in.
So
You monsters.
as you're
He's
getting
the
the
real
layout of the high rise, that's when Andresj's sight is coming back. So it's just like as we finally pull up in front, Andresj is just like,
Sorry, go ahead.
are we waiting for everyone else then?
Well, I thought we'd take kind of a walk around. We just did a loop-de-loo. Saw there's a doorman, and MC is there any like back alleys in the nearby? What other kind of buildings?
Yeah, so this is kind of a standalone. There's corporate buildings kind of all around, so the high rise is pretty individual. But between one of the corporate buildings to the we'll say south of the high rise, there is a back alley there, and there's trucks, delivery trucks constantly coming and going. You can tell this is the route for any shipments to the high rise. This is where it comes in.
Okay. Looks like there's a back alley back there with probably a loading dock where deliveries are made. You want to go talk to that doorman while we wait for everybody else?
Possibly. What are we trying to get from him?
Well, from what I see, seems like he mentioned everybody by name, at least, greeting everybody with a smile, so I can't help but think that he would have known these 3 victims.
Especially if they were running. They probably had a schedule. Runners have schedules as a runner. Meta, but like, you know.
I mean,
What do you say you go use some of that honey?
I feel like you're the one who's better with people than I am, but
Hey, I liked what you did back there with that homeless man.
This city is surprisingly run by the people who go unnoticed. That's just what I've learned. So
Yes.
I
Someone who spends quite a lot of time with those unnoticed. I think you're right.
just know that those people will always be the unseen eyes, the unheard ears, and they're willing to part with their knowledge a little bit easier than most people around the city, especially if you just give them a kind eye.
Well, these eyes is always kind.
That's why I think you might have a better chance with this doorman than I would.
Well, let's go shoot our shot, huh?
May as well.
So I parked the bike across the street. And do I need to hold your hand?
No, I can fend for myself at this point.
All right. So we stroll on over. Now I walk up towards this guy, giving him a friendly smile.
How you boys doing today?
Hey, well, we're doing all right. Hopefully, you can maybe help us with a little something if you don't mind.
Yeah, how can I help you?
First of all, my name's Cornelius Dale, or Averdelius the Third.
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Daryl.
Daryl.
Doorman Daryl. Sorry.
Some people call him the Double D.
Well, Daryl, what kind of we're friends of some people that live here in the Echelon, and we haven't heard from them in a while.
Yeah, who's that?
Well, we know this. We know Samit, and we know.
And the moment you say Samit, Daryl's demeanor immediately changes. He goes from kind of posing just gently to crossing his arms, kind of rolling his shoulders back, and his size is starting to be emitted off to you. You want to try that again?
We're friends, buddy. Ain't no reason to be flexing those big old muscles for no reason.
Why are you here?
Listen, we're just trying to figure out what happened to him.
Sounds like you know what happened to him.
Does it?
Samit was a good man. And Daryl takes a step down towards you.
I'm sure he was. And we just want to bring justice to what happened to him. Him and Tony and Hemming.
And at this point, you see Daryl starting to get, like, physically angry. What do you want?
Bubba, I've been watching you for the last couple minutes, and you seem to have known every person in this high-rise by name. Now, I can tell that you've been here a while, and you take great pride in what you do, and I respect the hell out of that. Because to do it for this long with that grin on your face takes time, and it takes investment, and it takes care. And that's the kind of people I like to surround myself with.
Yeah, I do know everybody. I don't know you, and now you're conveniently asking about those that were just brutally murdered.
Is that convenient?
And
For anybody?
around this time, I'm gonna show up with the Starbucks. Like,
I wondered why you didn't come with us.
like, look, I'm sorry. That kind of took a lot. I'm just like walk up and go like, "Hi, Daryl.
Detective, are these guys with you?
They're yes. Let's just say they weren't my first pick, but they're here."
All right. Daryl starts straightening out his overcoat.
Like, it's okay. I told them that just to wait for me, but obviously
He didn't actually. He didn't say
I
that.
said I had to open the scene up. Did I not?
We're not at a scene. I'm just making friendly.
Not everybody likes your type of friendly, Dell. I'm just gonna
Could
drink
Andresj
some coffee.
try and use the distraction of, like, the ongoing distraction and Dell up to this point to try and sneak around?
Yeah. Give us a sneak around.
He sees Colin going into a loading dock. Colin's in the back. I didn't want to deal with the doorman. Hey, Andresj.
So,
Yeah, no, I would love to set that up, actually. If this goes
Sure,
well, do you
let's set
mind
the
if
scene.
I have.
I'll use...
I also have a question after this.
Okay.
I would like to use my anonymity power tag to try and just, like, add a +1 to this as well.
Sure.
Oh, that is a 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. So that will be a mixed success. Sneak around. When you use your abilities to act secretively or deceptively, roll plus power on a hit. Everyone that should fall for it falls for it. On a 7 to 9, it's complicated. The MC chooses one. Someone unimportant noticed you, but you just made them important, right? You're perceived only by a secondary sense. Someone picks up on your scent while you're stalking them. You've seen whispering a message, but the message is not heard. You must leave something important behind or be discovered. So since I get to choose... All right, and I know what happens.
All right. But yeah, Andresj will just, like, go through one of the, like, we'll use the distraction of Daryl getting angry at Dell to just, like, sidestep through an employee door, make their way around to the loading dock, and just, like, as Colin is walking up to the apartment complex, like, through the alleyway, looking around, just the... I thought you might be back here.
Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna sneak in. I was just gonna walk in and see who tried to stop me. I like your way. That works for you though. Thank you. I'm just gonna walk in. I don't care who notices me. I'm just gonna walk in the back. I'm gonna act like I've been there before. That's kind of my MO.
Confidence in a high vis vest, you can get anywhere.
Or a clipboard.
Yep.
Clipboard.
It's the high-vis vest and the clipboard. It looks like you are absolutely there to look at some sort of utility.
Yeah.
But yeah, guess we don't really know the apartments of the 3 victims.
Oh, you
but-
didn't get that from.
Was that part of the address?
I'm
or-
gonna be honest. I was gonna go look at mailboxes and see the names and numbers that correspond to them, and then I was
Nice.
gonna just kind of work from there.
You know what? I'll actually. No, I don't have anything else I want to burn for this. Not yet, anyway.
While we're talking to Daryl, what I really want to know is what the connection between the 3 is. If they were friends, if they knew each other.
Daryl's gonna kind of look at you and look over at Cooper. Did you not fill him in on anything?
Well, they don't like to read reports, so
We weren't
I don't
given
remember
reports.
ever given a report. Cooper.
I hate
Look.
Cooper more and more every moment.
look,
Just so it's clear.
this is just me not knowing the information, so I'm just bullshitting my way out of stuff.
No, they didn't know each other.
They weren't part of some sort of book club, or they didn't all run together, or
Nope. They all lived very different lives.
well, what kind of lives did they live?
You know, I've got things to do. Being interrogated by you is not one of them. Cooper, do you need let into the building?
Yes, please. I'm gonna open up the rooms for them, and we're gonna see if maybe we overlook something or.
Cooper, you are aware of this. Your little friend here. You do not bother the other inhabitants. You
Oh.
do not interrogate them.
Trust me.
I wouldn't dream
If
of
he
it.
You
gets-
stay in the rooms, and that's it.
I swear, Del, if you try and just. Matter of fact, just-
Much like your little friend there that snuck off thinking I wouldn't notice. If I see you wandering anywhere other than those 3 crime scenes, you will be evicted, and you will not be allowed entrance.
What a high perception.
Hey, Daryl.
And Daryl is going to turn and use his ID badge to scan the door and open it up for you.
I so appreciate you and everything. It was so nice chatting with you. Thank you, buddy.
He's going to hand you over a mint, and as you guys walk through the door, he shuts it behind you.
I like that Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl don't like you.
Well, give it time.
No, no, we ain't giving it time.
And so, my question about earlier is, when exactly do we invoke weaknesses, or can I just have a like? Would that just be for rolling, or could I literally just
So it's
start it right
for
now?
rolling.
Okay.
So you would invoke your weakness to your roll because it's going to give you a -1, which is how you draw attention, which is how you power up your cards.
Because homie's got one right now. It's on lock.
All right, so Cooper and Dell, you guys are making your way to some meat.
I got something for me and Colin.
Okay.
Could I do a change the game roll?
When you use your abilities to give yourself or an allies an advantage on a roll, on a
create a
hit,
story.
you get to create juice equals power. Spend your juice to obtain the following effects: story tag, burn a power tag, reduce a status, scale up an effect, prolong the effect, hide the effect, any improvement you and the MC agree on. I'm assuming you were trying to create a story tag.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would like to use my eye for detail and my info. I'm going to change the name of the F power tag under the broker from know your enemy or always be prepared to. I just need to figure out a better name for it because it's pretty much the information gathering.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's information gathering isn't exactly the phrase I want to use for it. But
Okay.
yeah, I want to use those 2 power tags.
Sure. So that'd give you a +2.
Well, that comes out to a total of 4.
So with that 4, so what were you, set the scene, what were you intending to do there?
I was hoping that Andresj would be able to use the eye for detail and the information gathering to remember the apartment numbers from Detective Cooper's.
Gotcha. Yeah, so kind of how that one's going to break down is you and Colin are talking to each other, like, you guys were trying to figure out, like, where you're supposed to be going, and a delivery guy kind of comes up, bumps you behind you, kind of, like, distracting you from the conversation. Get the hell out of the way. We're trying to work.
Even better, you cannot read my notebook unless I let you. It is part of my gatekeeper stuff.
Nice.
I'm gonna talk to
So,
this
so
delivery
story
person.
tag is not created due to that role.
I'm just gonna ask this delivery guy something.
Okay.
Hey, sorry, our buddy told us to meet him in the back. But he's not here. I don't know if
Who's your buddy?
Detective Cooper. Should
No
be floating
detectives
around.
back here, man.
All right. Yeah, we're working, with him, so we're trying to, help him out. I was wondering.
Can't imagine he'd be back here. He'd probably be towards the front.
Okay, we're just gonna go towards the front then, and I'm just gonna walk with. Just get away from this guy, and also get to where I'm pretty sure that we'll intersect with everybody, just to get us back on track. Okay, see ya. Bye.
So are you guys trying to sneak through the delivery entrance? Are you guys going towards
I got
the
consent.
front
I'm not
door
sneaking.
back to-
I was given consent by a worker of the building to enter. I'm going to go in. I'm not
Fair enough.
sneaking.
But yeah, so we'll say you guys come in through the lobby together, meeting at the elevator doors.
I was gonna say, since Daryl said something, I'd probably be heading back there anyway and be like, oh, you're probably lost in here. Oh.
Not lost.
Yeah.
I had to make sure Colin got in.
Or Colin could have came to the front door.
I didn't know we were meeting at the front. I sort of assumed it
You're
was.
right. This is some really back alley stuff, considering, it's an
Really, it's
investigation.
on you, Detective.
I concur.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
I'm pretty
Alright,
sure that
so-
you said you were in charge of us and we weren't given instructions, so.
Right, okay.
But in my personal life, I got to get going, so we're going to wrap up this session in this final scene. You guys all get into the elevator together, and you guys make your way to the 48th floor. The
48th floor.
48th floor. The elevator doors open as you guys are met with a well-lit hallway. Plants all over the place, decorative lighting. You're walking through a very uppity, rich area. And as you guys make your way down the hallway, third door on the right, you are met at 4847. As Cooper, you would know, which was Samit Makesum's home. The yellow tape is still across the door as you kind of rip that down, unlocking the door. And as the door swings open, you are met with a well-kept home. There is nothing of note in your direct lie sight, as light is just kind of pouring from the hallway into the entryway into the late Samit Makesum's home. As you guys are met with just utter silence. The apartment has already been cased previously. But yeah, so that is where we're going to set our final scene. The room is dark as the door swings open. 4 silhouettes are standing in the doorway of this crime scene. Here, you guys is 3 of your first crime scenes that you guys are investigating. And that is where we will pick up next time here on 4 Geeks by Geeks with our City of Mist unnamed campaign, because I hate titling shit with a burning passion.
I hate creating characters that I'm gonna have to use soon.
One very cool thing that this game has a title that I love because it's fucking in our closing is geek out during credits. At the end of every session, debrief character development, crew growth, and crew relationship, and gain benefits accordingly. So we have not actually established the crew yet, but we've gotten some interactions between everybody. So in this geeking out during credits, I am curious, what is each of your guys' relative, how do you feel about each other's players' characters? Like, I want to know Colin, how do you feel about Del, Andresj, and Cooper?
There's like a sliding scale of how he feels about the respective player characters. Obviously, like Cooper, he's just kind of like showed up and was like, these assholes don't steal anything, blah blah blah, was kind of just a dick. And so Colin's like, all right, I don't normally like just have a passion for like hating cops, but like right now it feels a little more justified to kind of be like, this guy's a shitty detective, I don't really care. Feels like he got put on this job because he owes the DA something, and I don't like that. So and then Del is a lot, and so he's calling him Cornelius to kind of be like, we are not friends, we're not enemies, I don't have anything against you, but I think
I wondered why you called me Cornelius.
it's intentional. And then Andresj, it's like, I think that Colin suspects that Andresj is more than just like a mark for the broker. I don't think he suspects he's the broker, but like the kind of abilities that he expressed are very like, if I was somebody who wanted information, and this would be the kind of person that I think he thinks that Andresj is probably like a right or left hand person for the broker. And so there's kind of like this like understanding that Andresj is different, but he's not being rude or crass or generally like, it seems like genuinely thinks that he's like that Andresj has more that they have like more like social skills than Colin, and so Colin looks at that and says, okay. I know that Del is like a pretty face, but I think that he doesn't think that Del's method of persuasion is as effective as Andresj's was. So
I dig it.
It works 50% of the time, every time.
And Del, what's your opinion on everybody else?
So far, Colin is a cookie that I'm gonna crack sometime. Detective Cooper, it's just, he acts all cool around everybody else, but behind closed doors, I know he is a different monster. And Andresj, he and I kind of seem like we might be kindred spirits. And I'm sorry, so sorry. They and I, which almost they are more of an attractive quality because they have they energy, which Dale doesn't swing either way. He swings either way. It's not just one direction. Just so far we haven't met anybody of the female persuasion in this whole storyline. But he's really curious about what exactly Andresj does for the info broker, what his relationship is. Seems like if the info broker sent him, then he's got a lot of trust in what he does. But jury's still out on that one.
All right, and Andresj?
Andresj has found, I don't know if kindred spirit is the right phrase for it, but like a mutual an understanding for Detective Cooper. This is someone whose main goal is to get information, and that's it. It doesn't matter if that strains or ruins relationships. If it means getting the information that's needed in the end, and Andresj understands and respects that on a very deep level. Del is something. Andresj is trying to balance Del here because the group that Del is a part of is someone that Andresj needs information on, and so wants to wants to become friends with Del, or wants Del to believe that they are friends so that they can use that against Del, but doesn't want to actually become friends with Del because then that's something that can be used against Andresj. And then Connor,
Cooper.
It's oh yeah.
Colin.
Oh,
Colin
Cooper.
Cooper.
Not Connor. Okay. Let me fix that then, I'm sorry. Colin is kind of the same thing that Colin said about Andresj. Andresj thinks that there's more to Colin than meets the eye. Like, there's, okay, ex-con, a body for hire, but there's gotta be something special about Colin at that, and we haven't seen Colin do much.
I haven't
of
made a
anything
single
yet.
roll other than when I rolled against Snyder in like session 0 or 1 or
Right,
whatever
and
it was.
so like, and Andresj is always more cautious about those who are more reserved, because if someone is outgoing like Dell, it's easier to learn about them, whereas if someone is reserved like Colin, it's a lot harder to learn anything about their motives or what drives them.
All right, Cooper, close us out.
All right. So obviously, Cooper has a great one-on-one relationship with Dell. No, Cooper is like, he doesn't actually mind Dell that much. He just minds the constant, just innuendos. He's just like, come, just please. Like, you're actually like decent and pretty good at what you do, but God, you kind of annoy the fuck out of me when you like, you're really, really good, but man, you're the guy that's gonna like talk the entire time, and like, I just needed one thing from you.
I think if Cooper and Colin are ever going to find a middle ground, it's going to be on like a, why is Cornelius this way? Like, that's gonna be the only way.
And as far as Colin's concerned, Cooper's just like, look, this is just my authentic brand of asshole, and obviously it's not meshing well, which I get. Maybe I shouldn't make jokes about, someone being incarcerated, but also
Don't get incarcerated.
don't.
I'm gonna.
He hasn't. Like, I really haven't. Like, as like everybody else said, really, there's not really much to go on. So he's just like, oh, this is my brand of asshole. If you don't like my brand of asshole, you don't.
Is Cooper a Karen?
No. No, Cooper's actually like a pretty laid back, like, whatever, but he's gonna talk shit. And he's not. I mean, genuinely, like, hey, look, you got something wrong with you. I'm gonna let you know something wrong with you. And as far as Andresj, he's
It's happening
he's
on stream.
he's sitting there like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this person, because I thought I was getting the broker, and now I have this person. And so in the back of his mind, he's like, who, like, in what relation, same as them. It's like, what's the relation? Why is the broker just not worth my, like, too busy, like, it's not really worth it to them, and like, they're just sending someone to go, because I haven't had really any like interaction other than to tell Dell to stop it. But that's he's still feeling out most of the characters other than Dell.
Can you say my brand of asshole one more time?
My brand of asshole.
Ooh.
But
Takes me
on
back.
that note, until next time, I'm T.
I'm Boser.
I'm Alex.
Jeffsons?
Every time.
Every
time.
You think
We
we
need an order.
You think we plan an order, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. I guess I'm Lucas. I'm here. I'm here.
And you guys just keep
Geeking
geeking out. Bye.
Take care.
Easy.